Welcome back to RacingNews.com. I'm Magic. He's Aaron Halchman, and it was almost 10 months ago that Medina Spirit crossed the wire first in the 2021 Kentucky Derby. Yet on February 21st, 2022, finally a decision made by the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission. Medina Spirit officially disqualified as winner of the Kentucky Derby, and trainer Bob Baffert suspended 90 days but from the state of Kentucky and fined $7,500. Aaron, it's still not over. There's the appeal process to go through, but it feels like we're taking steps forward here to finally come to some closure and resolution here. But walk me through your thoughts on this situation.
Well, it was just a kind of a weird feeling, right? After everything that's happened and how long it's been, to award, Brad Cox, Florent Giroux, the ownership group, obviously of Mandaloon, Juddmonte, to award them the Kentucky Derby of 2021 in February of 2022. I don't know how you feel if you're those people, right? It's like, oh, that's awesome. Put it on the resume, but I don't really think they felt like they won it. So it's kind of robbing those people of a momentous occasion, obviously, to win the Kentucky Derby. They're never really going to get that, right? I mean, their name might be on there, but that's all it is. As far as people that's like, oh, justice for Baffert, I mean, I don't know. Like, this was pretty much inevitable, I think. I think it would have been a complete backlash of epic proportions if the horse would not have been disqualified. So I guess we avoided that on social media for weeks. But I don't know. It's just with Medina Spirit being gone now, it just was just kind of a blah. I didn't know how to feel, I guess, is the best way to put it.
It kind of reminds me a little bit when we were at the Kentucky Derby and Maximum Security was disqualified at the race and Country House was moved up. And afterwards, trainer Bill Mott won his first Kentucky Derby because of the disqualification, but it never felt like it to him. You could see kind of his emotions on stage at the press conference. It really just kind of, there was no excitement behind it. And it's kind of the same thing is happening here with Juddmonte, whose longtime owner, the Prince, passed away recently, so he didn't even get to celebrate the win. So a lot of bad things to happen from that. As far as Medina Spirits, unfortunately, he passed away as well, passed away in training not that long ago. His legacy is just, tainted doesn't even feel like the right word to use at this point for the poor horse.
What's really, yeah, exactly. I totally agree, first of all. And secondly, it's sad because this is a horse, whatever you believe. The one thing I think we all that watch racing on a day-to-day basis can say about this horse is he really, really wanted it. He really, really tried. He showed up every time and gave it his all. And it's kind of sickening that a horse like that, who we usually look back on, and say, wow, he was another thing. He was a cheap horse, right? Like they didn't pay hardly anything for him. It's like, here's this horse. Nobody thought he'd be anything. Maybe he's not the most talented horse we've ever seen, but he's such a fighter. He shows up every time. 99 times out of 100, we'll look back on horses like that and be like, wow, that was a horse that really drove the game. That was a horse that created some new fans. They really liked him. And in this situation, it's like he's always going to be remembered for this Kentucky Derby. And, if you draw a line through that, my goodness, the horse was great. He won the Robert B. Lewis. He was able to win the Awesome Again at his second to last race. He was second in the Breeders' Cup Classic. None of this is going to be remembered. And again, it's not like the horse would care one way or the other. He's a horse, but still, I feel a little. I don't know if it's maybe guilty. Even our coverage of him has been kind of tainted, but. That's the situation that Bob Baffert and what has happened has created. And that's Medina Spirit. It's a sad, sad story about this horse, without any doubt.
Well, let's keep talking about Bob Baffert because that's kind of the next segue is Baffert gets 90 days from the state of Kentucky, and that means any track in the state of Kentucky, he cannot enter a horse to currently run. He already had a 2-year ban from Churchill Downs Incorporated, which runs and owns the Kentucky Derby point system. So that doesn't change anything. Baffert is still expected. He's fighting that in an appeal system, but he is expected to miss the next 2 years of Kentucky Derbies. So we're seeing his horses right now. They're still entering. They're still running. The owners are still supporting him and letting the horses run with him. So from your perspective, does that kind of affect your opinion of not just obviously Bob Baffert, but the ownership groups as well?
I don't know what to think about it other than I think we're seeing a trend by these owners and maybe the bigger owners in general of the Derby isn't the end all be all. We're just kind of looking at the breeding aspect. Once these horses are over, let's try to get them grade 1 wins. They don't necessarily have to be in Kentucky. They could be anywhere. Let's just get that black type and get them to the breeding shed. Maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I am shocked, and I think I'm still in shock. And I think the story is still to be told as we sit here in February, into February now. We still don't quite know how that's going to play out and what's going to transpire between now and the first Saturday in May and beyond. And by the way, with that suspension, a lot of us were like, well, Preakness, and he'll have 6 horses there. The Maryland Jockey Club have come out and said, no, we will uphold that suspension that Churchill Downs gave out, and he will not be able to run horses in the Preakness either. Now, the big thing is all he has to do is appeal, and immediately that goes away until the appeal process is over. So don't get too excited about any of this because it's going to be meaningless once that appeal happens.
Well, the whole innocent until proven guilty, and while we all have our opinions, it is in the court system, and you just kind of have to let things play out as they will, as slowly as they tend to play out right now. Aaron, any final thoughts on Medina Spirit, Bob Baffert, and the Kentucky Derby system, or are you just ready to move forward?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready to move forward. Unfortunately, that's not going to be reality. We're still going to deal with this, but hell yeah, I'm ready to move forward. I was ready to move forward when, like a week after we heard about it. I was done with it. But, the final thing is when it comes to Bob Baffert, his legacy is, that's the big, no matter what happens, that's going to be the big loss for him. Everything he's done before and everything he'll do after is always going to be tainted in the minds of a lot of people. And whether you agree or disagree with that, that's what it's going to be. He has turned into that kind of figure for our sport, like a Lance Armstrong with cycling, like Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens with baseball. The public perception from a lot of people, it's Bob Baffert's going to be associated with those people. So I don't know what he could ever do to change that. I don't think there's anything. So, that's the big thing to take away from this. No matter what happens, say he appeals and he wins the appeal, it's not going to matter.
One thing is for certain, no matter what happens, when there is news about Bob Baffert and the Kentucky Derby saga, as it continues to happen, we'll have you covered at racingnews.com, where we also have free picks for every race, every track around the country. Full coverage of the Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks Trails at youtube.com/racingdudes. Hit like if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you really like it. Tell us below your thoughts about the situation. Are you pro Baffert, anti Baffert? What do you think should happen? Let us know below. We'll see you at the track.
This has been a presentation of racingdudes.com, your destination for all things horse racing and sports betting. Whether you want free winners, expert insider picks, up-to-the-minute trackside weather reports, or podcasts and videos for bettors of all skill levels, never make another wager without visiting the Racing Dudes. First,